as Trump appears to be getting away with an attempted genocide, an attempted mass murder of black and brown people, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Steve Bannon agree that if they were in charge of the January 6th coup attempt, it would have succeeded. And they would have brought weapons. They would have been armed. I want to tell you something, Marjorie Greene. This was over the weekend. She spoke to a group of Republicans in New York. She said, I want to tell you something. If Steve Bannon and I had organized that, we would have won. Not to mention, we would have been armed. Amazing. Charles Bedreau, who is a federal judge, wrote in a May 22nd ruling, quote, the evidence in this matter is insufficient to establish that Representative Greene engaged in insurrection or rebellion under the 14th Amendment. Remember they sued to try to prevent her from running for re-election because of her involvement in the insurrection? Well, she got away with that. But previously, she had said about the January 6th attackers, quote, I am one of those people. That's exactly who I am. And now she's about to join the leadership of the House of Representatives. She also, by the way, told this crowd of Republicans to applause over the weekend in New York that she would not support a single penny to help Ukraine fight the Russians. Not a single penny. This was a young Republican gala. And after Marjorie Taylor Greene got up and gave her little song and dance, the president of the group, Gavin Wax, of this young Republican group in New York State, he said, quote, and I'm getting this off rawstory.com, where you can find the story. It's titled, We Want Total War. He said, quote, we want to cross the Rubicon. We want total war. We must be prepared to do battle in every arena, in the media, in the ballot box, and in the streets. He went on to say, this is the only language the left understands, the language of pure and unadulterated power. Now, I realize most people listening to me right now probably not read William Scherer's book, The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. Louise and I read it when we lived in Germany back in the 80s. That was the language that Hitler used about the Jews. He said, these people only respect power. These people will only respond to violence. This is literally what he said it about trade unionists also, who had the temerity to strike, but particularly about the Jews. And apparently at this meeting, this young Republican meeting in New York, again, this is a quote from Newsweek now, from Newsweek opinion editor Josh Hammer, quote, Republicans publicly lauded members of an Austrian political party founded by World War II era German Nazi party members. Jack Posobiec was there. He was the guy who spread the Pizzagate conspiracy theory. The Southern Poverty Law Center wrote, quote, Republican speakers repeatedly voiced anti-democracy, authoritarian ideology, and extremists in the audience cheered wildly. They support the AfD party in Germany, Alternative for Deutschland, and this Australian party, the FPO, Freiheitliche Partei Österreich. This was, by the way, in the same room, there were a number of Republican members of Congress, including George Santos, who represents part of the Queens in Long Island, Mike Collins from Georgia, and Corey Mills from Florida. So this is now a new thing. And the fringe in the GOP is now the Mitt Romney kind of Republicans. This, you know, it's amazing. The old-fashioned, oh, we're just here for the big corporations. That Republican Party is gone. They are now the fringe. The central core and main power of the Republican Party is now with the fascists.